Welcome back to Ronin Recap. Before we start, I just want to thank you all for your support in reaching 100 subs. Don't forget to give feedback in the comment. Now on to the next chapter. Mahjong, Song-yi, and Zhang Jinbao were all stunned. What did they just hear? Teacher Tian Tian invited Lin Fan to her office. Lin Fan was going to be alone with Teacher Tian Tian in a room? Then, they suddenly thought of how Tian Tian had suddenly walked to their seats during class as if she was looking for something. They finally understood what Tian Tian was looking for. She was actually looking for Lin Fan. Brother Fan, I'm on my knees. Mahjong, Song-yi, and Zhang Jinbao all howled in unison. In the office. Hu Tian's office desk was filled with many documents and books, but they were all arranged in an extremely neat manner. At this moment, Hu Tian was sitting in front of her desk, thinking seriously and calculating carefully. Knock, knock, knock. At this moment, there were light knocks on the door. Please come in, Hu Tian said. When she saw that it was Lin Fan, Hu Tian's pretty face broke into a smile. You're here. Please take a seat. Then, Hu Tian stood up and said, What do you want to drink? I have green tea, black tea, and coffee here. Hu Tian was wearing a beige dress today, which showed off her exquisite curves vividly and thoroughly. Green tea, Lin Fan said. All right, she said. Very quickly, a cup of fragrant green tea was served to Lin Fan. Hu Tian took out a stack of draft paper, on which she had written a dense number of calculations. She said, You calculated this last time, p caret q plus 2m equals 3q2 p caret n. I've been doing some calculations over the past few days. After she finished speaking, Hu Tian handed over a stack of draft paper, which was also filled with arithmetic formulas. Lin Fan, is there a problem with my calculations? By the way, to what position have you derived? Hu Tian asked. To what position? I haven't cared about the twin prime number conjecture at all these days. Lin Fan felt a little embarrassed. He did not answer immediately. Instead, he silently looked at the draft paper in front of him. However, for a world-class problem like the twin prime number conjecture, even with Lin Fan's professor-level mathematics experience, it was still extremely difficult to verify and further derive it on the spot. Then, Lin Fan suddenly thought of the skill level up card. Do you want to level up your professor-level mathematics experience? Yes. Lin Fan muttered in his heart. Ding! The upgrade was successful. Congratulations, you've received academician-level mathematics experience. Instantly, when Lin Fan flipped through the draft paper in front of him again, everything immediately looked much simpler. He quickly picked up a pen and paper and started writing. 2m plus 4n to the power of 5 minus 8q is equal to 7y to the power of 2q minus 3z to the power of 8. There's a problem with your calculations, Lin Fan said. Hu Tian could not help but look over. In the next moment, her beautiful eyes flickered slightly. In fact, when Lin Fan was at Hilton Hotel, she had seen his handwriting when he solved Zhou's conjecture. Not long ago, Lin Fan solved the problem on the blackboard in the classroom and discussed the twin prime number conjecture with Hu Tian in public. At that time, Lin Fan's handwriting was very ordinary. In fact, it was even a little ugly. What was the situation now? Be it numbers, letters, characters, or Chinese characters, Lin Fan wrote them all like he was a calligraphy master. Even though Hu Tian was a math teacher, she also liked calligraphy. In her opinion, good calligraphy could give people endless enjoyment. At that moment, Lin Fan saw that Hu Tian was silent and thought that she did not understand. If you reverse engineer the answer, you'll find that it's wrong, he reminded her. Only then did Hu Tian come back to her senses. She picked up a pen and paper and began to calculate according to Lin Fan's instructions. As expected, the calculation was different from the original one. The calculation was wrong. Lin Fan said, actually, we can add in the first part of the equation. As Lin Fan spoke, he quickly wrote down the question on the draft paper. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Immediately, the entire office was filled with a rapid and rhythmic knocking sound. Hu Tian, who was sitting at the side, looked at Lin Fan's focused expression and the lines of beautiful and exquisite calculations he wrote. For a moment, she was a little entranced. Very quickly, the entire draft paper was used up, and Lin Fan stopped writing. "Teacher Tian, what do you think?" he turned to ask. Only then did Hu Tian snap back to her senses. She carefully observed the calculation process and nodded slightly. Lin Fan said, "Okay, then let's continue to deduce." Lin Fan only stopped after he had filled a dozen pieces of paper with complicated equations. "For now, I can only calculate up to this point," he said helplessly. Even with Lin Fan's academician-level mathematics experience, if he did not trigger a flash of inspiration, he would not be able to solve the twin prime number conjecture. After all, this was a world-class problem that had not been solved for more than 100 years. Hu Tian, who was sitting at the side, was completely dumbfounded as she looked at the dozens of pages of calculations. If Lin Fan could only solve 1/10 of the twin prime number conjecture in class, he would surely be able to solve it. He had directly deduced half of it now. How many days had it been? He was actually able to achieve this? Was he holding back in class? Or was it the result of his research and calculations over the past few days? A genius. No matter what the reason was, Lin Fan was a genius, an absolute genius. "Lin Fan, you really are a genius," Hu Tian exclaimed in admiration. "Teacher, you're overpraising me." Lin Fan laughed. Hu Tian looked out the window at the completely dark sky and said, "It's getting late. I'll treat you to a meal." Previously, he was only concerned with the derivation and did not feel hungry. Now that food was brought up, Lin Fan was feeling a little hungry. "I'll take you up on your offer," Lin Fan said. Hu Tian's car was a mini car. It was small and cute, and the interior was exquisite. After sitting in the car, a faint fragrance surrounded his nose, making him feel very comfortable. Not long after, Hu Tian and Lin Fan arrived at a quiet and elegant Western restaurant. The restaurant was located on the 26th floor of the Zhongshang building. Sitting in the restaurant, one could see the neon lights of Jiangbei City through the French windows, as well as the bright stars and moon in the night sky. It was a beautiful sight. Hu Tian pushed the menu in front of Lin Fan, indicating that he did not need to stand on ceremony and could order the food that he liked. "It's my first time at this restaurant, so I don't know what's good. Can you recommend something?" Lin Fan asked. Hu Tian thought for a moment and said, "The filet steak here is cooked to 30% medium. It's fragrant on the outside and chewy on the inside. It tastes pretty good. The tenderloin with potato is different from other places. You can try it too. Also, the Black Rose is their family's homemade wine. It's a specialty of the restaurant. You can try it." "Alright, I'll listen to you, Teacher Tian. Lin Fan nodded. Then, Hu Tian also ordered a few dishes and placed her order. About 10 minutes later, exquisite dishes were served on the table. Lin Fan was indeed a little hungry. He did not stand on ceremony and directly cut a big piece of steak and put it in his mouth. After that, he tasted the potato and beef and nodded slightly. After filling up his stomach, Lin Fan swirled the wine glass and slowly poured the Black Rose wine into his mouth. His movements were slow, elegant, and intoxicating. Unravel the unknown, unleash the unimaginable. He was a gentleman as warm as jade. Drinking gentleman made him have infinite charm. Lin Fan commented, "When I sniffed it, it had a thick grape fragrance. After tasting it, it feels like the grape fragrance is bursting out from my body. It's good wine." Hu Tian, who was sitting across from him, was a little stunned as she watched Lin Fan drink the wine and listened to his comments on the Black Rose. In the past, there had been some people who had drunk with Hu Tian. However, their actions were clumsy. They clearly did not know anything about wine, but they wanted to pretend to know a lot. They ended up talking nonsense. Hu Tian loathed such people. Lin Fan was completely different. His drinking actions were extremely elegant, and his comments were appropriate. In Hu Tian's eyes, he did not look like a student at all. Instead, he looked more like a noble or a prince who had been through a lot of edification. She felt as though he was introducing to her the fine wine he had personally brewed. His actions and temperament seemed to be deeply ingrained in his bones. Then, Lin Fan put down the glass in his hand and looked up at Hu Tian. Their eyes met, and Hu Tian hurriedly turned her head to the side. Soon, her eyes fell on the empty piano in the middle of the restaurant. "Looks like we won't be able to hear any good piano music today," she said, a little disappointed. Lin Fan also looked over and thought about it. That might not be the case. With that, he walked briskly to the piano and sat down. Lin Fan slowly closed his eyes. About 10 seconds later, he suddenly opened his eyes. At the same time, Lin Fan's slender hands were moving rapidly across the black and white keys. Suddenly, a melodious tune slowly reverberated in the restaurant. Everyone could not help but stop talking, drinking, and eating. They all calmed their hearts and listened. Hu Tian did not even blink. In fact, she even stopped breathing. She just stared at Lin Fan in a daze. At this moment, the entire restaurant, and perhaps even the entire world, seemed to have turned pitch black in Hu Tian's eyes. Lin Fan was the only one who seemed to be illuminated by a spotlight. He was dazzling and eye-catching. Clap, clap. When the last note was played, the entire restaurant burst into a round of applause. "You played so well. It was really nice to listen to." Under the crowd's praise, Lin Fan slowly returned to the table and sat down. "How was the performance?" Lin Fan asked. "It was nice." Hu Tian replied almost reflexively. "That's good," Lin Fan said. Then, Lin Fan picked up his fork and knife again. He finished the rest of the food like a tornado. "Do you want to order more?" Hu Tian asked. Lin Fan wiped the oil from the corner of his mouth and shook his head. "No need, it'll be a waste if I order more." After he finished speaking, he got up and prepared to leave. At this moment, a middle-aged man in a suit and leather shoes walked over and smiled. "Hello, sir. May I disturb you for a few minutes?" "What's the matter?" Lin Fan asked. The middle-aged man said, "I'm Zhao Ting, the manager of Brilliant Films. We're currently filming a teen drama. Your appearance, as well as the temperament you displayed when you played the piano just now, are very suitable for the character in our drama. I wonder if you're interested in auditioning for the role." After the middle-aged man finished speaking, he handed over a business card. The manager of Brilliant Films? Was Lin Fan being scouted on the streets now? If it was an ordinary person who encountered this situation, they would definitely be overjoyed and hurriedly agree. It was because this meant that they had a chance to appear on the screen and become well-known stars. However, Lin Fan shook his head and said, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested in acting in a TV show." Go on screen and become a star? He would have no freedom to speak of in the future. Lin Fan did not want to be surrounded and photographed wherever he went. Zhao Ting was obviously stunned for a moment. He did not expect the other party to reject him. He hurriedly said, "Can you accept my name card first? If you change your mind, you can contact me at any time." Even though it was impossible for Lin Fan to change his mind, he looked at Zhao Ting's sincere expression and accepted the business card. He walked out of the restaurant and sat in Hu Tian's minicar. "You were given a chance to become a star. I thought you'd agree immediately," Hu Tian said. "Forget it. I'm not interested in being a star," Lin Fan replied. "I didn't expect you to play the piano so well. It was the first time I heard the song Moonlight." "It's nice," she continued. At this point, the image of Lin Fan playing Moonlight seemed to be replaying in Hu Tian's mind. It was melodious and graceful. "I really don't know what else you can't do," Hu Tian sighed. "There are a lot," Lin Fan said. "Like what?" Hu Tian asked. "Like Lin Fan thought for a moment and could not quite put his finger on it. He would not be able to do those things now, but what if he got the skills from the red packets in the future? Hu Tian could not help but smile when she saw Lin Fan's pensive expression. After sending Lin Fan back to Zhongbei University, she continued driving her minicar along the busy road. When she stopped at a red light, Hu Tian's mind once again recalled the difficult math problems that Lin Fan had earnestly answered, the excellent calligraphy that he had casually written, the temperament he showed when he tasted the wine, and the beautiful piano piece that he played. Lin Fan, just what kind of person are you? Hu Tian murmured. Ring, ring. At this moment, her phone rang with a melodious ringtone. Hu Tian looked at the caller ID and answered the call. Tian, didn't you say you'd come to my place today? Why aren't you here yet? A clear and sweet voice came from the phone. Hu Tian's face revealed a look of realization. I was delayed by some matters. I'll come over now. Delayed by some matters? Your school doesn't seem to have been holding any meetings recently, right? Forget it, just come over quickly. I can't wait anymore. The voice on the other end of the phone sounded even more delicate. After hanging up the phone, Hu Tian stepped on the accelerator harder and sped forward. At the same time, in dorm 104 of Zhongbei University, Songyi, Mahjong, and Zhang Jinbao all focused their gazes on Lin Fan. Lin Fan felt a little uncomfortable and said, Why are you all looking at me like that? Brother Fan, why are you back so late? Brother Fan, were you with teacher Tian this whole time? Brother Fan, what did you do with teacher Tian? Almost at the same time, the three of them asked their questions. I first discussed the problem with teacher Tian in the office for about 2 hours. Then, she treated me to dinner. In the end, she sent me home, Lin Fan replied honestly. Spending 2 hours alone with Tian in the office. Then, he had dinner with teacher Tian. Finally, teacher Tian personally sent him back to the dormitory. Brother Fan, please accept my knees. Songyi, Mahjong, and Zhang Jinbao all howled in unison. The next day, there were no classes in the morning. Of the 4 people in dorm 104, Mahjong went to the library. Songyi also went out early, and Zhang Jinbao was sleeping soundly. After Lin Fan woke up, he took out his phone. Notice from Merchant Bank, 710,200 yuan has been deposited into your account. Name, Lin Fan. Level, LV4. Level 4 reward, 10 yuan for every breath, 10 yuan for every second of sleep, 10 yuan for every step taken. Rewards are distributed at 12 a.m. daily. Upgrade cost, 3 million/10 million, gifts, gambling, and other methods are not included. In addition, all items obtained from the system are prohibited from being traded. Skills, professional driving skills, charming aura, 5% chance to trigger love at first sight and unforgettable love, violent aesthetics, drinking gentleman, absolute focus, 5% chance to trigger a flash of inspiration, academician level mathematics experience, eyes of truth, professional basketball technique, pianist level performance, professional calligraphy. Funds, 16.01 million. Lin Fan casually marked the message as read and then started to read the news. Ding! Ding! When the sun was high up in the sky, Lin Fan's phone vibrated. A text message popped up. Sun Lughua, Lin Fan, our family just bought a 100-year-old spirit branch. Are you at Zhongbei University now? Seeing this, he was startled. Lin Fan's eyes lit up. He secretly praised in his heart, no wonder they're a famous medical family in Jiang province. Lin Fan replied, I'm at Zhongbei University. Sun Lughua replied, okay, I'll be at the east gate of Zhongbei University in about 20 minutes. After Lin Fan put down his phone, he quickly got dressed and washed up. Then, he walked toward the east gate. Not long after, a white BMW Z5 stopped in front of him. Sun Lughua, who was wearing a plaid shirt, came down and said, Lin Gong, sorry to have kept you waiting. Lin Fan said, no, I just arrived. This is the century-old spirit branch that my family received. Sun Luhua handed over an exquisitely wrapped wooden box. You've really helped me a lot this time, Lin Fan said. By the way, how much does this cost? I'll transfer it to you now. If I take your money, I'll be laughed at by Big Sis Jusin and the others, Sun Luhua said while waving his hands. Oh right, this spirit branch isn't like ginseng and other herbs. The older it is, the more effective it is, he reminded after a pause. After reaching a certain age, the spirit branch will gradually turn into wood. Generally, it can only be used for ornamental purposes and has no medicinal value. Sun Luhua and Lu Yuhang often raced and fought each other, it made them look like playboys. In fact, they grew up in a family of medical doctors and were very experienced in dealing with people. They also had a deeper understanding of medicine. Lin Fan did not force Sun Luhua to accept his money for the item. He also understood that Sun Luhua did not lack money. Sun Luhua cared more about dignity. Sun Luhua's reminder was completely out of concern for him. Hence, Lin Fan came up with an excuse. I'm helping an elder to find the 100-year spirit branch and 100-year ginseng. I don't care what they're for. Since the elder needs them, I can only help him find them. But I still have to thank you for your reminder. I'll tell the elder about the medicinal theory of the 100-year-old spirit branch. Sun Luhua nodded. I'll keep an eye out for 100-year-old ginseng for you. If I find one, I'll let you know. If that's the case, then I'll have to trouble you for that, Lin Fan said. It's just a small matter. It's not much trouble, Sun Luhua said. Lin Fan said seriously, but this is important to me. Sun Luhua looked at his serious expression and said, don't worry, we'll definitely find it. It's only a matter of time. Then, the two of them chatted for a while more before they left. While walking along the forest path in the school, Lin Fan could not help but open the wooden box and look at the wood-like spirit branch inside. Ding! Do you wish to collect the 100-year-old spirit branch? Yes, yes. Immediately, the spirit branch and the wooden box disappeared into thin air. At the same time, the image of a small spirit branch appeared in the medical water illustration book in his mind. It was very magical. Lin Fan thought to himself, as long as I can find the 100-year-old ginseng, I'll have the right to buy medical water. By then, Dad's body should be able to recover completely. Ding! Ding! At this moment, the time was exactly 12 p.m. Lin Fan's phone vibrated. Red packets appeared. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 10,000 yuan. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 5 yuan. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 2,000 yuan. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 1 billion shark stream coins. Ding! Congratulations, you've received 3 yuan. This time, Lin Fan received a total of 40,000 yuan and 1 billion shark stream coins. Shark stream currency, also known as shark currency, was the virtual currency of the largest live streaming platform in the country, Sharkstream. 1 yuan could be exchanged for 100 Sharkstream coins. 1 billion Sharkstream coins were worth $10 million. Lin Fan, you're here? The counselor, Sun Yaodong, who had his hair swept back, walked over from a distance and called out. Counselor, you were looking for me? Lin Fan turned around and asked. Oh, the National Mathematical Modeling Competition is about to start. Your ability is outstanding. How about you sign up? The honor of our class can only be won by you. Sun Yaodong directly placed his hand on Lin Fan's shoulder and said in a tone that seemed like he was talking to a friend. Lin Fan thought to himself, could it be that he knows that I solved Zhou's conjecture? That was right. After all, Sun Yaodong was his counselor. Although it would be troublesome to participate in a competition and Lin Fan hated trouble, as a student of the university, he should make some contributions. Alright, I'll sign up. Lin Fan nodded. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. That's great. As expected of my student. I'll submit your name now. After Sun Yaodong finished speaking, he quickly walked away. It was as if he was afraid that Lin Fan would regret it. Lin Fan looked at his back view and shook his head. When Lin Fan returned to the dormitory, Song Yi had just returned with a stack of mathematics materials. Song Yi, I didn't think you'd start to like studying, Lin Fan said. Song Yi laughed. There's no choice. There'll be a national mathematical modeling competition soon. We're outstanding men. We must sign up to win glory for our class. Ma Zhong, who was reading seriously, turned his head and said, Did Counselor Sun say that? How do you know? It seems that you've also heard from Counselor Sun that I'm outstanding, right? Song Yi said smugly. Sigh, I've tried my best to keep a low profile. I didn't expect that I would still be discovered. Today, Counselor Sun also said the same thing to me, Ma Zhong said. Zheng Jinbao, who was slurping his instant noodles, said, when I bought the instant noodles, Counselor Sun also said that I'm outstanding and asked me to participate in the National Mathematical Modeling Competition. Ma Zhong, Song Yi, and Zheng Jinbao immediately looked at each other. Lin Fan's lips twitched. So, Sun Yaodong was just going around telling students that they were outstanding and wanted them to bring glory to the university. That way, he could trick the students to sign up for the National Mathematics Modeling Competition. Were all college counselors so sneaky? The counselors' tactics really made one speechless. Dorm 104 fell into a brief silence. Obviously, Song Yi, Ma Zhong, and Zheng Jinbao also realized that they had been fooled by the counselor. At this time, a sweet voice came from the computer in front of Zheng Jinbao. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. Xiang has started her live broadcast. Zheng Jinbao shouted excitedly. Xiang, I love you. As Zheng Jinbao spoke, he quickly sent a message in the live broadcast room. Some people say that only by looking back thousands of times in the past life can we brush past each other in this life. Today, I'm able to meet everyone on Sharkstream's platform. I think it must be fate that brought us together in our previous lives. Thank you, fate. Thank you all for meeting me in this life. Next, I'll be singing Encounter. I hope you'll like it. Suddenly, light music started playing in the live broadcast room. Immediately after, a melodious voice rang out in Dorm 104. Yes, winter's departure. I woke up in a certain month and year. I look forward to it. The future cannot be arranged because of this. Meeting you is the most beautiful accident. One day, my mystery will be revealed. The music gradually stopped, and the song ended. Zheng Jinbao shouted excitedly, Xiang is so beautiful. Her singing is so good. Lin Fan, who was standing not far away, nodded his head. In fact, many streamers were not pretty. Some of them even had fat heads and big ears. They had pockmarks all over their faces. They were very ugly. However, due to beautifying filters, they looked as beautiful as fairies and thus boasted shamelessly about their appearance. However, all of these beautiful facades could not convince Lin Fan's eyes. Face value, 94. Favorability, 50. With a face value of 94, no matter if it was her figure or appearance, she was absolutely impeccable. As for the favorability score of 50, it was because she did not know Lin Fan at all. In fact, she had never even seen him before. This was obviously normal. In addition, Xiang's voice was crisp and magnetic, and the transition between high and low pitches was perfect. Moreover, when she sang, she did not completely follow the original song. She even added some of her own adaptations, which was very rare. It's rare for there to be such a beautiful streamer in Jiang region, but why isn't she popular? Zheng Jinbao said with a depressed tone. It would be great if a few big nouveau riche appeared to give her gifts. When Lin Fan heard this, his eyes flickered. He sat on his bed and took out his phone to enter Sharkstream's app. Then, Lin Fan opened up his personal page. Welcome, Work Slayer. Balance, 1 billion Sharkstream coins. Sure enough, the Sharkstream coins from the red packet had been transferred to his account. 1 billion Sharkstream was equivalent to 10 million yuan. What if Lin Fan started his own live broadcast? Then, he could directly tip everything to himself and withdraw the cash. However, this required the registration of a live broadcast and verification. The withdrawal of cash would also mean that the platform would be entitled to a commission. There were also handling fees, taxes, and so on. In the end, he estimated that he would only get about 4 million. It was extremely troublesome, and he would not be able to get much money. Lin Fan was not interested in that at all. At this moment, he finally knew how to deal with the 1 billion Sharkstream coins. Lin Fan searched for the keywords in the platform Xiang Xiang. Very quickly, exquisite facial features entered his eyes. At this moment, 3 rockets flew up from the screen. Soon, many bullet comments appeared on the screen. Mr. Chu, you sang very well. I'll reward you with 3 rockets. Sunny day, whoa, 3 rockets at once. Awesome. Most of the comments were full of exclamations. One had to know that the rocket for Sharkstream cost 100,000 Sharkstream coins, which was equivalent to 1,000 yuan. 3 rockets in one go cost 3,000 yuan. This amount might not be much to some big live streamers. However, for a small streamer like Xiang Xiang, it was definitely rare. Thank you for the 3 rockets, Mr. Qin, Xiang Xiang said happily. Mr. Chu said, Xiang Xiang is pretty and her songs are nice. It's just that her clothes don't look good. I think it's better to take them off. Mr. Chu had opened a small factory and could earn hundreds of thousands of yuan a year. He loved to watch live streams and was obsessed with the beautiful streamers in the videos. However, he also understood that it was impossible for him to get a big live streamer with his limited amount of money. Therefore, Mr. Chu often targeted some small live streamers. After Mr. Chu's message appeared, the bullet screen quickly rolled like raindrops. City of Brisk, yes, strip. Let nature take its course. Mr. Chu tipped you 3 rockets and became a big shot on the top of the list. This is the first request of the big shot who ranks first, so you have to fulfill it. Otherwise, the big shot at the top of the list will be angry. Zheng Jinbao, who was sitting in front of the computer, gritted his teeth and said, I thought that Xiang Xiang finally had the support of a nouveau riche. But he's actually a sleazy, dirty man. After he finished speaking, Zheng Jinbao's fat fingers jumped quickly on the keyboard. Big gold treasure, Xiang Xiang, don't listen to their nonsense. Don't take your clothes off. In Zheng Jinbao's heart, Xiang Xiang was a goddess. He did not want his goddess to be tainted. Mr. Chu saw that Xiang Xiang did not answer for a long time, so he sent another message. Mr. Chu said, it's not like you're not wearing any clothes inside. It's fine to take off your outer clothes, right? Mr. Chu asked, I'm the big shot ranked first on the list. Are you unwilling to agree to my requests? After this, who would still dare to give you gifts? Is anyone there? Don't even talk about getting more tips. Just strip. Take a look, yeah, just strip. In the live broadcast room, Xiang Xiang looked at the screen and bit her almond-shaped lip lightly, not knowing what to do. Xiang Xiang liked to broadcast live. It was easy, and she could also showcase her talents. In addition, live streaming could earn her a sum of money every day. This allowed Xiang Xiang's live broadcasts to continue. If a large number of fans left, her income would definitely be greatly reduced. Could she continue to do live broadcasts? At that time, what should he do? Whoosh. 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 At this moment, 4 rockets flashed across the screen. Work Slayer, I think I'm number 1 now? Work Slayer, then I can make a request from Xiang Xiang, right? Work Slayer, Xiang Xiang looks fine in this kind of clothes. She doesn't need to take them off. After Lin Fan sent this message, the live broadcast room was flooded with comments. Whoa, 4 rockets. That's 4,000 yuan. 1, 2, 3, Xiang bagged herself 2 nouveau riche today. Most of the comments were full of exclamations: unravel the unknown, unleash the unimaginable. Thank you, Work Slayer, thank you, Xiang quickly said. Seeing this, Mr. Chu's face flashed with anger. He had given 3 rockets, but this person gave 4. He was simply provoking him in public. How detestable. However, Mr. Chu did not immediately fight back. He first opened Work Slayer's information and found that it was only a level 4 account. He immediately sneered and said, Work Slayer? He's probably a small-time employee in a small company. Those 4 rockets probably cost him a month's salary, right? He really doesn't know his own strength. Then, Mr. Chu clicked on the gift twice. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the live stream room, another 2 rockets soared into the sky. At this point, Mr. Chu had given a total of 5 rockets. He had once again climbed back to the top of the rankings. With the appearance of these 2 rockets, the live stream became even more lively. Yellow and yellow, another 2 rockets. Mr. Hao is awesome. Poor, Mr. Chu is back in first place. Xiang, listen to Mr. Chu and take off your outer clothes. Follower, I don't know if Work Slayer will come back with more rockets. Otherwise, Xiang should listen to Mr. Chu. Divine Demon Transformation, that Work Slayer is probably a loser who works in some factory. He has probably spent all his salary by tipping 4 rockets. How can he still have money to tip? Little bug, Mr. Chu is awesome. Mr. Chu enjoyed everyone's praise and said with a proud smile, you want to fight me? You're still too green. Whoosh! Whoosh! However, the next moment, 2 rockets shot into the sky in the live broadcast room. Work Slayer gave 2 more rockets. Bone Soup, Work Slayer became number 1 again. Crazy, are these 2 big shots going to fight? I'm a primary school student, I wonder if Mr. Chu will continue to tip. 321, of course. Otherwise, Mr. Chu will lose face. Mr. Chu's face darkened as he grunted. I'd like to see how much money you, a poor loser, have. After saying that, he tapped on the screen twice. 2 rockets flew into the air in the live stream room. At that moment, Mr. Chu had given Xiang a total of 7 rockets. Crazy, these 2 big shots are really going to fight. There's going to be a good show. 321, Mr. Chu is obviously a big shot. He's more awesome. Mad scientist, I also think Mr. Chu is awesome. Whoosh! Whoosh! Before many comments appeared on the screen, 2 new rockets appeared in the live broadcast room. Work Slayer was giving gifts again. Mr. Chu frowned. At this time, Slay Worker had rewarded Xiang with a total of 8 rockets. If he wanted to surpass him, he would have to reward Xiang with 2 more rockets. In that case, he would have tipped 9 rockets in total, which would be a total of 9,000 yuan. Although Mr. Chu could earn hundreds of thousands of yuan a year, he was still a little reluctant to spend 9,000 yuan just to prove his worth. After hesitating for a long time, Mr. Chu finally gritted his teeth and said, that Work Slayer should be out of money. I'll give 2 more rockets. If he continues, I'll give up. After saying that, Mr. Chu finally tapped on the screen twice. Lin Fan, who was sitting on the bed, grinned when he saw this. Work Slayer, forget it, I'm not playing with you anymore. The message was sent. Whoosh! 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 1, 2, 3 rockets. 10 rockets. 50 rockets. 100. A total of 100 rockets rained down on the entire live broadcast room. The man in the wind, what the hell? Yellow in yellow, damn it. Xiaoming, F***CK. Countless swear words appeared on the screen. It was obvious that everyone was shocked to the extreme. The man in the wind, Mom asked me why I'm kneeling down and looking at my phone. I'm a primary school student, don't ask me why. It's because the tables have turned. Prince, greetings, God. It was no wonder they were so excited. One rocket was worth 1,000 yuan. 100 rockets would be 100,000 yuan. This kind of large reward only happened a few times a day in the entire Shark Stream platform. However, they did not know that this was only the beginning. Whoosh! 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 Densely packed rockets filled the screen again. 10. 20. 50. 100. It was another 100 rockets. However, this was not the end. The rockets continued to rise. The commotion in Xiangxiang livestream quickly attracted the attention of many people. Originally, there were only a few hundred online viewers. After the appearance of these rockets, the number of viewers slowly increased from thousands to tens of thousands. As time passed, the number of viewers continued to increase. The Willow, oh my god. What's happening here? 321, there was a man called Mr. Chu who was competing with a tycoon at who could send more rockets. How would he know that the tycoon was just toying with him? He directly scammed him of a few rockets. Take a look, I'm dying of laughter. That Mr. Chu was actually competing with the god of construction in terms of rockets. Madman, oh right, where's that Mr. Chu? Huang Zhongwang, quick, check if Mr. Chu is still there. At first, Mr. Chu's mouth was still half open, and he looked at the rockets with a dazed look. However, after paying attention to these comments, he hurriedly exited the live broadcast room. This was a slap in the face. Mr. Chu put down his phone, swallowed his saliva, and stuttered, just who is this guy? The commotion in the live broadcast room did not stop just because Mr. Chu had left. Gradually, not only the audience was attracted, but even some big live streamers could not help but pay attention to Xiangxiang's live broadcast. Spring water, 600 rockets. How much did he have to pay? Hello, son, I'm here to watch the god of tycoons. Daily upward, a god-level nouveau riche. This is the true god-level nouveau riche. Congratulations! You'll be above all the others if you work hard, work Slayer, you're awesome. The man, look! Momo is here. Xiao, oh my god. It's really Momo. I love watching her live streams. After Momo saw that she had been seen, she did not hide and sent out a message. Momo, I'm also here to watch the fight with Workslayer. Take a look, the god of tycoons is awesome when he beats up people. I'm the best, Momo is very good looking, and her singing is very good. You should also watch Momo's live broadcast. Woof. Woof. Woof, that's right. Momo is great. Student Little Ming, Momo, I love you. When the 1000th rocket flew past the live stream room, the thrilling scene finally ended. Workslayer, Xiangxiang, you did a great job streaming. If I have time in the future, I'll come and visit you again. Xiangxiang looked at the dense number of rockets in the live broadcast room and the increasing number of viewers. She was completely stunned. It was only now that she saw Workslayer's message. She came back to her senses. She quickly said, alright. Thank you, god of tycoons. Thank you. Obviously, Xiangxiang was also affected by the nicknames shared on the screen. Momo was one of the top 10 most popular streamers on Sharkstream. Previously, when Momo heard that a god-level rich man had given Xiangxiang hundreds of rockets, she was shocked and could not help but run to the other party's live broadcast room to see the grand scene. Even Momo had never received such treatment. At this time, Momo had already returned to her live broadcast room. In the live broadcast room, she gently swayed her lovely body to the murmuring music. Then, she slowly opened her cherry-like mouth. Suddenly, a beautiful song that was like the sound of spring water resounded throughout the entire live broadcast room. It was also at this time that a golden notification appeared in the live broadcast room. Welcome, Work Slayer, to the live stream room. Spending 100 million Sharkstream coins every month, which was 1 million yuan, would earn you the title of Emperor. This was also the highest level title for Sharkstream. Lin Fan had just given Xiang Xiang 1,000 rockets, and he had just earned the Emperor title. After this notification appeared, Momo's live broadcast room immediately boiled over. Son of the Dragon, the godlike tycoon is here. The man in the wind, greetings, god of tycoons. Master Chow, the god of tycoons has come to Momo's live streaming room. That's great. Even Momo, who was singing, sounded excited. Momo took advantage of the gap in the song and said excitedly, "Welcome, god of tycoons." After Work Slayer came to the live broadcast room, Momo's singing became even more motivated. After the song ended, Lin Fan nodded his head. Face value, 95. Favorability, 60. Work Slayer, I like listening to those years. I wonder if Momo can sing it for me? Of course, no problem, Momo said happily. Very quickly, the music started playing. Momo also opened her mouth. Back to the beginning, the young and inexperienced face in my memory. We've finally come to this day. It had to be said that Momo was indeed a popular streamer. She easily sang the melodious tune of the song. Listening to this song, one could not help but think of those young faces, as well as those lively and quiet figures.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and see you in the next chapter.